So let's talk about Will Stein, Oregon's offensive coordinator. There are a select few Oregon fans that aren't particularly confident in him right now because Oregon had one bad offensive game. Sure, the defense scored a touchdown against Maryland. So 31 points and 16 points. Those are the concerning signs to some. I'm not quite as concerned. Blazer Duck is, though. He sent in a question, which you can as well. YouTube comments, X, formerly known as Twitter. DMs and mentions are wide open, or become a Locked On Ducks insider, get priority access and all sorts of other perks. That link in the description below. You can get a free 14-day trial. Blazer Duck says, Spencer, what's going on with Will Stein? His play calls are so vanilla. His play calls are so predictable. Either short 3 to 5 yard passes or run straight up the middle. Where is the option run, jet sweep, screen pass, 10-yard passes, etc.? Why isn't he opening up the playbook? Well, allow me to go through. I appreciate all the questions that get sent in. I'm going to pick this one apart just a little bit. Where is the option run? They ran fake quarterback sweep, pass down the field to Kenyon Sadiq for his 24-yard reception. Jet sweep. Oregon hasn't been a big jet sweep team in the last several years. I will say they have changed up their looks in some of their base personnel packages from last year with their motions, but it's not radically different. No Tez Johnson, I think, factored in to which receiver they wanted to put in motion, but typically they have a receiver that's going to run a route in motion pretty often. I will say I didn't notice that as much against Wisconsin, but still, it's not as if it's never happening there. Where are the screen passes? Terrence Ferguson's longest play of the night, because he stumbled and wasn't able to catch a touchdown. His longest play of the night was off of a screen pass. So, yeah, it's all been there. The screen passes have been there every week. I feel like he always dials them up at the perfect time. That was a struggle for Oregon earlier this year. And as for dialing up the playbook, one thing you don't see when you just watch a game live and you're just going from one play to the next and you get sunk into it, it is plays that were available to be made, but for whatever reason weren't. For example, 3rd down and 4. Dillon Gabriel's first down scramble, huge play in the game with 4:40 to go. If he stays in the pocket, Jordan James ran right by his guy on a red zone corner route. It was a great design. They float everyone to one side of the field. They sneak James out of the backfield. He runs through the offensive line. He's got him beat by a step. Gabriel just has to lob it over the top, but he brought his eyes down. He saw an opening. He said, we got to get the first down, and he makes a play. It's not inherently a bad play. But when you say, well, where's the creativity? Where's this, that, and the other thing? Well, I haven't seen that from Oregon this year. I guarantee you that's something that they have worked on and brought out in that particular moment, and that's the way the play went. That's calling offensive plays. I wasn't watching Oregon's offense on Saturday night against Wisconsin and thinking, boy, Will Stein isn't having a very good game. No, I didn't think that at all. Yeah, there are a lot of RPOs in this offense. That's why there's such a high completion percentage. There are a lot of quick reads. It's a tough thing to defend. They get the ball out quickly. Gabriel and Nix have both been really good at it the last couple of years. So I don't think that Will Stein is having a problem in that sense really at all. I think it was more about Gabriel was a little bit off, it was windy, and the offensive line did not play well. If your offensive line doesn't play well, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are Chip Kelly in his prime. Why did they only score 19 points against Auburn in the national championship game? They couldn't run the football. Nick Fairley was too good. When you're struggling up front, if you don't have a consistent push there, you can't consistently protect the quarterback, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle as an offensive coordinator. It disrupts everything you want to do. Blazer Duck also asks, if Oregon has arguably the best wide receivers, 6-year starting quarterback with the best passing percentage in football, and one of the best offensive lines of the country, why do we do 5-yard passes all the time? Why can't we pass the ball like we did against Ohio State? We killed Ohio State in the passing game, and they were the hardest team on our schedule and currently number 2 in the country. So the answer here is Ohio State's game plan was to take away these short passes for Oregon because it has been a function of this offense. Remember, Bo Nix was captain check down. By the way, he's thriving in the NFL. Oh, I'm shocked. Can't believe that's working out. It's just awesome. Watching him and Herbert thrive, chef's kiss. Anyway, why do we do 5-yard passes all the time? Because a lot of them are built-in RPOs. And Dillon Gabriel doesn't always make the right read. I thought he made the wrong read several times on Saturday night. Several times. It happens. You're not going to. Bo Nix didn't make the right read every time. He's as cerebral of a quarterback as Oregon has ever had, who has been as in command at the line of scrimmage every single play as any quarterback ever, maybe more than any quarterback ever. He didn't always make the right reads. And so The short passes, I think, are a function of Ohio State came into the game saying, hey, they like to have these short RPO. We want to take those away. We'll leave our corners on the outside. And Oregon's counter was, okay, we'll take shots. Tez, down the field. Evan Stewart, double move. One-on-one fade routes, we'll take it. Like, this is the cat and mouse game that you're constantly playing. For a while, there was a narrative in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes can't play against two deep safeties. And you know what Andy Reid did? He went to Patrick Mahomes and said, hey, Patrick, take a check down every now and then. It's okay. Pick up 7 yards. You don't need the home run on every play. You know how many home run passes you have to hit in a particular game to keep your offense moving down the field? I'm talking 30 yards or more. You need to hit 2 or 3. And you might not even need to hit that many. Oregon had, let me go to the box score here. Let's see how many passes he completed. I did not have this stat right in front of my face. Wait for it. Give me a moment. So, Gabriel's 22 of 31, 218 yards, no touchdowns, and interception. The longest completion of the day was to Evan Stewart, 32 yards. He had 10 catches for 92 yards. Terrence Ferguson had a 25-yarder. That was on a screen pass. Kenyon Sadiq had a 24-yarder. There would have been one other completion to Terrence Ferguson if he hadn't just stumbled against the turf monster. What are you going to do about that? There's nothing you could do. It's just throw your hands up and go, all right, well, that stunk. But they're humans. They're going to make mistakes every now and then. If you'd had that completed pass, this game feels different. It looks different in the box score because that led to an Oregon punt. You need to complete a handful of those balls, and Oregon's offense wasn't great. But what was the biggest thing missing from Oregon's offense? Well, they didn't have 25 or 20-plus yard passes. No, I don't think so. They had a couple of explosives. But guess what? I think everybody watched the Ohio State game and said, oh, wait, they can push it down the field. Well, we can't let them do that. And so they'll play a lot of two deep safeties. And the answer to that is, okay, now we're going to challenge you underneath. If you're going to play zone coverage, we'll throw underneath. You're going to play man-to-man, we'll have rub routes, or trust our receivers to win 1v1. It's a constant cat and mouse game back and forth. I don't think Will Stein was the problem with the offense on Saturday night. But as for the short yardage passing questions, I think that's what happened. Is the Ohio State film, I think, scared everybody, and we're seeing the adjustment on the other end. Very curious to see what happens with the Washington defense. They run a lot of single high safety, which can leave one-on-one shots on the outside. We'll see if Oregon takes those shots. On the same note, D. Dow God says, why are so many run plays made running into the center of the blob? This seems like the most obvious area for improvement. Not the play call, but the blocking. Some of Jordan James' best runs were quote-unquote running into the blob. That's not the design of the play. It's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's not what it's made for. He had, I forget how many yards exactly, but it was close to being an explosive, and it still was an 8 to 10 yard run on a 3rd and short, and it was just a straight duo or zone handoff right up the middle. And you know what happened? The offensive line won at the line of scrimmage. That's what this is all coming back to. That's what this is all coming back to. You want to have success running the ball up the middle, outside, counters, screens, anything, offensive line has to win. And when they win, Jordan James can get to the second level, break tackles, and run guys over. When they don't, he's got nowhere to go. There's nothing that he can do. This one from DuckGrad02. If Bryce Betcher could wear his baseball glove, does he catch those interceptions? Duh. On the serious side, I wonder if Oregon is saving the 50 burger we've been expecting for Washington. No, I expect the Oregon offense to play at a higher level, given that they have had a bye week, they are at home, and Tez Johnson is back against the Huskies. There is never, I want to make this very clear. Coaches do not save a big explosive day. They might save plays. They might save concepts. They individually, sure. We're going to run this against this team, and they haven't seen it before because we haven't put it on film. 100%. But overall, the game plan every week is let's score 35 to 40 points. And against Washington's defense, by the way, it's not going to be that easy. It really isn't. And if Oregon does it, I'm going to give them their flowers and say, hey, this offense looked really good. Because that is a very capable Washington defense. It's not Michigan or Ohio State, but nor is it Oregon State or Yeah, the more I think about it, the Illinois comparison might have been a little bit off. It's not. It's not Illinois either, or Michigan State in the first half where they were running all over where Oregon was running all over the field. It's not going to be that simple. It's not. So I think Oregon's offense could play very well, but if they struggle again, wouldn't be entirely shocked because the Washington defense is very, very sound schematically.